This interview will be online in February, before the 26th.
Well, my 65th birthday.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
The same date?
I'll be 65.
On the 26th.
Yes.
El cumpleaños el 26 de febrero mismo.
Sí, lo sabía.
El mismo día yo.
Bien. Bueno, vamos a comenzar. Hola, querida audiencia de Calor Frío TV, estoy muy contento con la entrevista que vamos a realizar hoy. Él es Jaz Coleman, un músico inglés, cantante, tecladista en Killing Joke, compositor de música clásica, autor, filósofo, ciudadano del mundo y quién sabe algunas otras cosas más que nos estaremos enterando en esta charla. También me acompaña María Arnoleto, que oficia de translator. ¿Cómo andas, Jaz? Hola, María.
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo están? Hello.
Bueno, vamos a hablar de Pink Floyd en formato sinfónico, que es lo próximo que va a realizar en vivo Jaz, y también del amor que nuestro invitado profesa por Sudamérica, de su estancia en Argentina y del Club Malvinas, un proyecto propio que se abre a los argentinos y al mundo. Quizás, si nos da el tiempo, también hablemos de salsas picantes, de antiimperialismo y de autosustentabilidad. Ese es el momento en donde les digo que se suscriban al canal, le den clic a la campanita, compartan y le den me gusta a este video, así se van enterando de todas las entrevistas y más personas llegan a Calor Frío TV para interesarse y coparse con este material musical. Jaz, el 26 de febrero, día de tu cumpleaños, vas a presentar Dark Side of the Moon sinfónico junto a la orquesta de la Suiza francófona en el Victoria Hall de Ginebra. ¿Escuchabas este álbum de Pink Floyd cuando se lanzó en 1973?
Well, I first heard it in 1974 when I first got into rock music, and I've always loved Dark Side of the Moon. This was one of many kind of experimental pieces of rock music. I also listened to Can when I was 14, the group Can. But Dark Side of the Moon made a profound impact on me. The whole push with orchestrating rock music for sonata form as actual symphonies was driven by the realization that the greatest composers of the last century were actually rock musicians, not classical musicians. Arranging other people's work for symphony orchestra is part of being a composer. Mahler rearranged Beethoven. Rimsky-Korsakov rearranged Mussorgsky, and many other examples. So this is part and parcel of a composer's life.
Para este concierto con la música de Pink Floyd, que de hecho ya habías adaptado algunas obras en Us and Them Symphonic Pink Floyd en 1995, ¿fue difícil orquestar estas composiciones de Pink Floyd?
Well, I've got to tell you the story of it. What happened in 1993 was this guy from a record company came to me and he took me to a restaurant and he said, I want you to do 70% of Dark Side of the Moon and 30% of The Wall, and I want you to do it in 3 weeks. So I'll fly you first class to New Zealand. And if you can get it done, you come back, you've got the London Philharmonic Orchestra. So I did this. I went back to New Zealand and I drank cans and cans of Red Bull and champagne and managed to get what we know as Us and Them ready for recording in London, which I came back from New Zealand to London to record. Originally, they were going to have different rock musicians sing on it, but I thought this was a really bad idea. So I replaced all the vocal parts with an Arabic violin. What happened then was the guy that commissioned me to do this, he disappeared. He didn't pay the orchestra. He didn't pay me. He didn't pay for the travel agents, for the tickets, nothing. He just disappeared. And what happened, this guy disappeared and he presented the recording to Philip Glass. And Philip Glass played the recording that I'd done at a party in Washington for all these senators. And they gave such a positive feedback to it that Philip Glass signed me the next day and everybody was paid. And that was the kind of story of it, really. The record went to #1 in America for 108 weeks. That was one thing that happened from it. But I always felt as though that I'd rushed the work. So for me to do the extra tracks missing from Dark Side of the Moon and rescore it, which is what I've been doing the last month and a half, has been a great opportunity. Before this, I did the Rolling Stones, and if you type in Jaz Coleman with Mick Jagger, there's one of the recordings I did with Mick Jagger of the song Angie. But after this, although this was a really great recording, I felt that rock singers do not belong with symphony orchestra, and I decided to go completely instrumental after this. And this is something that Philip Glass, who became my mentor from this time, he completely supported me on.
¿Tenés o tuviste contacto con algún integrante de Pink Floyd, de Led Zeppelin, a quien también versionaste en 1997 en Kashmir Led Zeppelin sinfónico, o The Doors, con quien hiciste con su música lo propio en 1999?
I was in touch with The Doors up until Ray Manzarek died a few years ago, and I got to know all the surviving members of The Doors very, very well. I actually performed on stage with Ray Manzarek one time in Cleveland. I mean, you know, Jimmy Page has been a mentor of mine since I was 22. We have a communication, and as for Pink Floyd, I used to have the same management as Roger Waters, who I respect very much as activist, and the arabesque element within the symphonic Pink Floyd is largely tipping my hat, as we say in England, to Roger Waters, who I admire as a human being very much.
¿Cuál tema de Killing Joke orquestado para el proyecto Magna Invocatio, Agnostic Mass for Choir and Orchestra, te gustó más en la versión sinfónica?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I like the opening fanfare, the track #1. I like track #3, Intravenous, this track with full choir. And I like tracks 12 and 13, which of course are full choir. Honor the Fire, which is, well, of course I love Killing Joke's music. I created it. It was a very interesting rescoring my own compositions with this one. And of course, Magna Invocatio is supported by the spiritual branch of United Nations, the Lucis Trust. It's the official music. It's the official text.
¿Cómo fue la experiencia de trabajar con tu hermano Pierce para Music of the Quantum? Él es un físico especializado en física teórica de la materia condensada, según leí.
Yeah, we did this we did this at Columbia University, and we also did it in Prague, at the university there in Prague.
In Prague?
Yeah, my brother and myself, we're diametrically different. One of us has a dominant left cerebral hemisphere, and the other has a right cerebral hemisphere. I'm the artistic one with a lot of intuition, and my brother is rational and factual. But we managed to work together on this one. There weren't too many difficulties. My brother is a US citizen and he's very pro-American, and I am not.
Si te gustó esta nota, podés colaborar para que el canal siga creciendo. En la descripción te comparto los enlaces para que elijas la mejor opción. No olvides suscribirte al canal y darle clic a la campanita, así te enterarás cuando suba nuevos videos o realice entrevistas en vivo. Muchas gracias.